Hi everyone. I'm so sorry we're late. It was, I don't know, the stream was taking forever. It was just spinning and spinning. Gotta love technology and stay at home interviews. But thank you for being patient with us. Welcome to Takeover Tuesday. I just want to stop and acknowledge everyone who is at home with their families, wishing you peace and love during this time. And for those who are going through difficult situations, just want to acknowledge you and send good vibes and love. And we're all in this together. Without further ado, I'm so sorry. I'm trying to, can you see me, Annalise?
Yeah.
Okay. I can't see you, but we're going to just roll with it.
Uh-oh.
I think it's on delay. All right. So for today on Takeover Tuesdays, I have a dear friend, author, just entrepreneur extraordinaire, nonprofit founder, Analise Harris from Curls on the Block. Welcome, Annalise. Good morning.
Hey. Hey, Jess.
How is life for you this morning?
Life is good. Life is good. I'm thankful you invited me on for today. I haven't put clothes on and got dressed in a minute.
I know
Definitely got makeup and
it's a weird feeling. You're like, am I really doing this and getting ready?
I know I was like, ooh, the fro is it,
But you
but
look good. I see you got your lipstick popping, pink
I
lip.
know it's super bright. That's because I'm paling out. I need color.
Me too. I mean, us light skinned people, no offense to anyone out there, but I'm calling myself, light skinned people, we have these problems.
Look, everybody look about 3 shades darker in the sun, so we need it all. We need that vitamin D.
Yeah. Well, let's get started because I know we're starting late and I know folks are out there working, trying to check us out, and we appreciate you. Give us a little bit of your story and your background, who you are.
Well, I'm Aquarius, so no. Let's see. Well, I'm from Illinois, and I came out to Colorado a year after I graduated from Creighton University in Omaha, Nebraska, and came out with City Year and through AmeriCorps and ended up staying. So I obtained a master's in education and had taught for since then. And after my year of City Year at North High School, and then I bounced around other schools throughout the city. And yeah, end up staying. I'm in Aurora.
Yeah. Go Aurora. That's my hometown. So I got a rep.
Yeah, you better claim Aurora.
I'm claiming it. I'm in Denver now, but I'm still claiming Aurora. Well, tell us. So, well, first, let's introduce your business. I know you've got several things going on. We'll talk about your book later, Miss Author.
Oh yeah.
So we'll go back to that later. But first, let's talk about your business.
Okay, so I mentioned that I was an educator, and as a special education teacher, I definitely had a lot of work with kids who struggle with social emotional disabilities. And then being one of the only Black teachers often in my field or in the school, I just witnessed a lot. Girls getting suspended for not taking off their hoodies or bandanas, and just like a lot of issues that were coming up through the disciplinary chain ended up for me being observant and working with the girls closely or students closely, recognizing some gaps in their self-esteem. So, kind of like the mouthing off, talking back. They're just trying to figure out where their place is. And just fast forward a little bit, I had just seen enough and realized I had to be able to put my frustration with the system into a more positive way. And so I created a curriculum after doing an event at a all-girls school. Observant and working with the girls closely or students closely, recognizing some gaps in their self-esteem. Myself. So, talking back, they're just trying to figure out where their place is. And just fast forward a little bit, I had just seen it. Jess, can you hear me?
I can.
Oh, I heard myself, and
Okay.
it's a little weird. But anyway, I started the Curls on the Block curriculum. Well, I created the curriculum, and then it manifested into a nonprofit after I recognized, hey, I have a niche here, and a calling, and that was just like a natural next step after seeing, the opportunities to expand into more schools. I had to like formalize everything, and yeah, that has got me through the past couple of years. Not my main job, unfortunately, not yet, but it definitely has shaped a lot of the work I continue to do and advocate for. But it also led me to, continue to just follow my dreams, or if there's a goal, to keep pushing towards it. So I was like, oh, I started a nonprofit. Oh, that's cool. You can keep going. And I have done some more things, with the book Harriet's Yellow Jacket, and even with Curls on the Block has a fundraiser with the pageant, and it just is in a way to also expand into different cities and states, international attention as well. And the Miss Curly Self-Esteem pageant has been really interesting to grow because, pageantry is not new, but it's not necessarily a focus. And being able to use it as a platform to push, what I believe is important is in representation for girls. And I guess I should even give background. I kind of got lost after hearing myself. But Curls on the Block was created to address the gap in self esteem. So it's attracting girls of all curls and colors to embrace, explore, and empower their natural selves. And I, created the curriculum, realized that there was a way to enhance the curriculum by using beauty as a focus, but connecting it with things that girls were already dealing with: science, technology, engineering, art, and math, as well as that's an opportunity to get funding. That's an opportunity to get more doctors, if Black female doctors in the field. Like, I support that, and I want kids to feel more successful in math, especially if they can connect it to something they've learned through Curls on the Block. And getting into coding, I mean, amen for coders, because we wouldn't have Zoom.
Right.
Plug. That we need folks who, this lighting deal, we need folks who understand us. We can't be on the RBG little whatever, not whatever the color scheme is. We need people who know our colors to get into this so we can look our best, because even photography is not based on the melanated skin tones, at all, even though it could be. So anyway, that's the mission and vision, of Curls on the Block, really to build self-esteem and help girls see themselves as scientists in technology, as the mathematicians. And and when we figure out, what to do with these curls, that's like biology, chemistry.
Uh-huh. I just want you to know I had to bring the curls out today. Like, it would have been, it
Bring
just
it
would
up.
have been blasphemy if I didn't.
Yeah, I would have been like, really, Jess?
I did the best I could.
I'd be like, what kind of friend am I? I'm not even, my friends don't even wear their hair curly.
Uh-huh. It depends on the day, but we don't want to shame anyone out there who's, doing straightening, and it's all good.
That's fine. Just make sure you're healthy.
Exactly,
Drink
exactly.
water and, you know, give your hair a break.
So going back to, because I want to touch back on the STEAM and the STEM stuff, especially during this time, during COVID-19. I mean, I'm thinking in my mind, we're going to need more scientists, more doctors to explore this and to learn, because this is all brand new. And I can only imagine it's going to be years to come. They're still going to be investigating this. So, I want to speak to that with your girls program with STEM.
Well, I cannot say that Curls on the Block is like, this deep dive into
Mhm.
science. They're just like magically scientists, ready to go experiment on everything. But I will say Curls on the Block is an opportunity for kids who are kind of what in education we would say is like tier 2, and even those tier 3, tier 1 kids who kind of just learn from whichever teacher is given, like they like to learn, that this comes naturally. Tier 2 is the kiddo who is like, you know what, I'll get a B or C, maybe a D, and I'm not really tripping, but it brings relevancy and cultural competency, to the forefront. So when we make our flaxseed hair gel, we're using the scientific method. And I think that's important because that's exposure in another realm that they typically wouldn't have had outside of a science classroom, where maybe they're like, look at these rocks. And you're like, the kids don't care about rock. Sorry. Some do, but the way you just presented it, they don't see their rock collection the same way you see the layers of the earth, And I do believe, though, by building confidence, we can encourage girls and got, curly friends all over to try something new and keep I guess perseverance, even if things are challenging. So I think that's just embedded within the curriculum. And then honestly, because of COVID, I actually did lose like 6 contracts. People have been really creative in allowing opportunities for me to actually do virtual sessions. So what's crazy is like a year and a half ago, I was ready for online. Like I was like, you know what? How could I, in the back of my head, I created Curls About because of my little sister. I wanted her to get the encouragement that I was giving all these other kids, but not my own sibling because I wasn't in her home in home with her anymore. And she was dealing with the same stuff. Just bullying or just feeling low self-esteem being in a mostly all white area. And I was like, man, how could she get the curriculum and it doesn't sound like an overbearing sister? So I was like, man, virtual or online. And I remember a year and a half ago making a post, asking parents, hey, would you pay? Or what would you pay? Or what would it be like if we, did a session virtually? And it was just like new, but I've grown accustomed to kind of being ahead of time a little bit. But I'm glad we're catching up and I'm able to use different platforms. So what's coming for me with post COVID is I've already done virtual sessions in Washington D.C. With Girls Inc. out there. I do support
So you have to
my.
let me back you up. Please share with folks who go Girls or Inc. is, just because if they're not in your
Well,
realm.
I'm not advertising for them, but they opportunities for girls to come hang out. but Girls Inc. Is really cool because it does bring leaders from the community to work with girls, and they have like after school programming, summer programming. So don't quote me on everything, but I just know they were in a workshop of mine in DC, and they wanted it for the girls who couldn't attend the event I was at with DC Public Schools. But anyway, giving plugs. They better plug Girls in the Plug.
That's not a plug. It's just because if people are not in your realm or industry, they may not know these organizations. So I always like to reference who everybody is.
Look, we'll be like links below.
For some people, this is a brand new realm. They've never done anything related to curls or STEM or anything.
You know what, Jess, I forget we're gonna be formal. I'm just on the friend basis as well. So I get,
I know. We're
kind of relaxed.
me and Annalise are too comfortable. We're used to like hanging out on Zoom in our living room.
Yeah, right.
I do have to give a shout out to Andrea, Rosalie, Donjanea. I'm so sorry, Donjanea. We just met over Facebook, but thank you, ladies. I love you guys. Thank you for your support. Andre, we appreciate you tuning in because we need fellas tuning in too. Like you said, this applies to
yeah, they got the beards. And scalp, health is important too. That's for the guys, for the girls. So yeah. But yeah, Girls Inc. was one of the partners I've done work with throughout DPS and all that. But online is definitely an opportunity. I don't really like a lot of screen time, and I guess this is a chance for me to like plug Curls on Block app a little bit since we plug in.
By the way, guys, see, there you go again, Annalise. DPS, for those that don't know, is Denver Public Schools, because we got hopefully people tuning in live from everywhere.
Okay, I got contracts in Aurora Public Schools with the YMCA.
Well, that's important.
Me that acronym. I don't know what the Y acronym is. Young Men Christian Association. Yeah, young men's. Anyway, but
yeah, so you're all over the Denver area.
Yeah. But I was gonna say in Omaha, actually, I was gonna say I've had to do things virtually, trainings, everything, and provide resources electronically for out-of-state partners. And so COVID definitely has just reminded me okay, get off your butt, keep pushing for the things you wanted. And, a lot of people are going digital, and a lot of people, even teachers, are struggling with how to make a virtual classroom engaging, especially, kids, you probably have like 20 minutes of like engagement total if you're just talking at them. I mean, you probably have 30 seconds in person. Like you got, so the only reason they're on the computer is to look at themselves and their friends. So, but anyway, just doing activities and stuff alone is one thing, but I wanted to continue to make things a little more fun. So, Curls on the Block, the app, um, is an opportunity for, it's free to download, and it has challenges where you could go around your community, go in your house. And right now we just have the it's the sponsored by Chubby Curls. That's a plug, which is a hair product made
I
in
have chubby curls in my hair right now, by the way, for truly,
Look,
I really do.
look, plug them up. And so the share your favorite hair gel challenge, and people submit their photos. In fact, I got a photo yesterday of a girl who wanted to start wearing her hair curly in Illinois, and she's from Illinois, and her mom submitted her photos of one of their first hairstyles just like out, because even at 8, kids are telling parents, hey, I want to wear my curls out, but it's more about how to keep your hair healthy, because we know it could dry out and all that. So the Curls on the Block app has resources on there, and there's videos being added. I'm not going to say consistently, but that's one of the struggles with entrepreneurship, that if it's not your 100% job or focus, sometimes things get put on the back burner. But the app was very important for me to help build a curly crew and curly community. So there's resources on there, there's the challenges on there, and there's also the curly directory, which has companies from actually throughout the nation on there, which are either selling products or they sell services and are partners with Curls on the Block. So it's been cool to continue building that as a resource, because when I first came to Colorado, I was like, whoa, my hair is like dried out. I straightened it a lot because it was just easier, because I was like, man, this is dry. My flat iron stays longer. Okay. And then I was like, with teaching, I realized representation was just imperative. So, I just went back to my curly state probably most of the time, wearing it out most of the time. But, making the app also, I was like, okay, so I did that. Then I was like, man, escape rooms are fun, but Black people were not going because we watched too many horror movies, and nobody's going, to an escape room, because one, we trying to escape life. This is every day. So I did a Madam CJ Walker challenge room, and that was 2 years ago. And I was able to do an interview with.
Tell your audience who Madam CJ Walker is, please. Sorry to interrupt.
Yes, that's coming. Yes, I was able to do a meetup with her great great granddaughter, and her granddaughter explained Madam CJ Walker as the first self-made Black self-made billionaire. At that time, she'd probably be a billionaire in her time for sure, if for inflation. But anyway, she was able to create a hair care product line that served the Black women in the early 1900s, 1920s, 40s, etc. And through the 70s, their products were being used. When I was growing up, she was known, unfortunately incorrectly, as creating the hot comb, but she didn't. She actually improved it a bit, but so did Annie Turbo Malone. But so, Annie Turbo Malone had the first patent that adjusted for wider um, teeth on the hot comb, but it was actually created in Paris, but anyway, I made a challenge room, and I had it during a Black Doll Affair, which is a partner. And I'm mentioning this partner stuff a lot because it is really important in any industry to have partners, because somebody's got access to resources, or just in collective work together is just important, because someone could pick up slack where you're not, or push your movement. And when you're collaborative minded, you're able to really expand in ways you probably didn't even think, and just bring quality instead of just like draining yourself out completely and feeling like you haven't accomplished certain things. But yeah, when you have a partner, it's really, really exciting because you want to impress them. You contribute. And for this party, it's they get the kids who attend get a doll for free. Just come eat, hang out, and they were able to learn about Madam C.J. Walker. And I had them do the challenge room. Now we had about 20 adults and 15 kids, and it took them a half an hour to get through the challenge room. And they had to find the dolls, so it was at CCD, Auraria campus, Community College of Denver, and it was one room, and they just had to figure everything out. And it was really exciting to see Black people really getting engaged in this. And I just can't stress enough because there was a lot of stigma with escape rooms. People don't want to be locked in a room. So just being culturally responsive and making sure that people can feel successful, and safe. But I was like, man, how could I expand this? And lo and behold, you just Google some stuff on escape room, and there was some virtual escape rooms that other people have done. I was like, our kids don't want to do that. Again, going back to why I created Curls on the Block, stuff has to be relevant, and it has to be, a connection and culturally responsive. Like, they don't want to look up some person from Germany, unfortunately, right? It's just not innate interest. But so I'm working on a virtual escape room, challenge room for Madam C.J. Walker, and also Egyptian themed one, as well as a one just about hair in the kitchen. So I have three I'm working on, and I'm excited to push those out. You could do them on the computer, and then there's one that I'm working on where you could print out everything that I have from your home and set it up at your house. So that's going to be a lot of fun to see. It'll be full of facts and interesting things things I consider interesting that I would like other folks, curly-headed folks to know and participate in. So
Well,
that's
I think you just described so many of the ways that set you apart. That's typically one of the questions I ask my small business owners. But yeah,
right.
I mean, you named like 5 ways that are setting you apart that I heard. Just being a culturally sensitive and aware, and creating things that kids can connect to, and so many others.
Yeah. And branding is important. You know what? I've been a lot of places, and you have to wear your brand, and you also have to get other people to participate, not just as partners, but to believe in your work. And it's always exciting when people come up to me, when I wasn't asking them, and they're like, "Hey, I want to do this. I see you, and I want to join." That shocks me a little bit because I'm like, really, you want to help me? So anyway, I appreciate that question, just what sets you apart, because everyone is a lot of people are moving into the entrepreneurial world and doing some of the same stuff, as other people, or that has been done. And there was a meme that I saw, and it was like, look at how many brands of bread there are, at a grocery store. Not right now. Can't get no bread, can't get no pasta or toilet paper, but there's a lot of different brands. And that is true for sure. There is space for us. That's what the meme was implying. There's space for you, but you do need to put a lot of work in it and actually work to figure out how you can separate yourself a bit. And how you connect. You want people to identify quickly what your brand is about, and also why they should participate. There's 10 self-esteem based organizations, and I've tried working with them before, and sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. And you just have to keep moving, and just also not question yourself. But I think just knowing when you need to separate yourself as well. Again, you're like, you know what? Okay, well, that really is not aligned to what I want to do. Or, this was great, and I want to pursue other partnerships in the future. So, it's definitely a journey in that regard. But, I think one other thing that keeps me on a little bit unique, as I know you had some questions, is I'm unapologetically Black, and so is the curriculum. And so I got white girls on I have white girls with curly hair in the programming sometimes, got straight hair Mexican girls, and they have fun. We learn raps. And I think it's important for them to be able to see through the lens of a Black girl, because we're learning through white male lenses all the time. We learn to read and write white. That's just facts. And it's important to have exposure and safe spaces with a facilitator who is able to facilitate, appropriately and offer guidance through tough questions. And there's also a value in what I also know is a safe space for Black girls just to just be Black, and mixed girls, curly hair girls. Like, we don't want to have to keep monitoring what we say are our frustrations, but it's still a safe space at the end of the day. So I've had all kinds of kids participate. Boys love it too. I had like 5 boys in my elementary school from like 3rd to 5th grade, and they really had a good time until, unfortunately, someone was like, "You're in this," and it was an adult, and I was just like, why would you, the tonality. And I think, as a Black woman saying it to a Black boy, he didn't want to do it anymore because he could tell like it was questioned, he was being questioned, like, and that stuff starts early too. So I definitely want to put out there a challenge. I mean, where's the young Black male programming that allows boys to, experiment with their hair, experiment with their presentation, and just masculinity, and understand it in a safe space, and not like, you have to this, we're men. It's like, okay, hey, here, who are you and what are you bringing, and let's make you, mold you into, a positive person. But that's not my field, and I need a dude to go ahead and lead that because it's not my ministry.
I know. It's like you can only do so many things. You're doing like 10 things extraordinarily.
Well, I feel like I'm like, help me, I'm just doing a little bit
No,
at a
no, I think as all of us as small business owners, I know myself, I underestimate what I do every day. We're our harshest, at least I am, but
yeah,
I tend to find that with all my friends that are entrepreneurs, it's just taking those moments to be kind to yourself. I think part of what makes us entrepreneurs is we do go hard on ourselves, and we should.
yeah,
That's what sets us above, and that expectation for excellence, but also taking those moments to be kind and recognize those, because every baby step leads to those big things.
absolutely. And every time you get knocked down, it's like, okay, what lesson can I learn from this? And that's the perspective I take. So I probably can count like 3 regrets, RAGRETS, regrets. And, it's just decisions that I've made. And that's total, in life actually. But otherwise, everything else is probably just, for me, just part of the journey. It might have been real tough in the midst of it, but I'm working on, a really positive community to be a part of, and hey, you got about 2 or 3 friends, that's it. And so I'm okay with that now. But, I used to want people to like me a lot, and I'd be apprehensive maybe in some regards to share everything, or I was just too trusting. And, people will take your ideas, but at the end of the day, for me, I'm like, go ahead, take an idea, because at the core, you're doing the work that I need to see done in the world. That's how I see stuff, just, I mean, we're not going to get in the, presidential campaign, but at the end of the day, if what our main goal is, for supporting people, in general is happening, hey, look, does it have to be me as the forefront? And no. And I don't want to have to be the face of Curls on the Block. People are like, you are the face. I was like, look, there's so many curly headed folks, it doesn't have to be me. But my values is what I want to share, and is what I want to see flourish, not necessarily my face on a billboard. So
I mean, we're not going to complain if your face is on a beautiful billboard. You're beautiful. But I love your humbleness about it, and I love your attitude. I really do. I love that attitude of. I think you make a good point. Is that as long as it's getting out there and effectively, and people are learning and growing, that's what's important.
Now I know I didn't talk your head off, and I know we started a little late, but I wanted to say thank you also for this opportunity. I was like, oh, sometimes it's like, man, you'd be like, "But why me? Why do you want to talk to me? And what are people going to say? Oh, why is she on that?" And at some point, it's just like, you know what? Hey, yes, me. And I do think it's really important for people like you to continue to have platforms. And I actually been doing interviews with folks in the STEM field and STEAM field, girls and women, and who are in the industry. So I'm just like, it's hard to edit. These videos are hard to edit. This ain't a TikTok. This is like, oh, you got to have quality. But during COVID, it's going to be like, okay, push this content out because people are absorbing it and they want to participate, they want to feel connected. But anyway, thank you, Jess, for the opportunity. And, if I had to take a deep breath and be like, okay, I'm worth it. And even though I'm not actively doing programming right now, I have, a lot of ideas for continuing, and I will be offering programming online soon. So probably by May, I will have that stuff set up. And I'm just being gentle on myself because I'm like, I'm watching everybody else. I'm like, y'all tired? You didn't know how? Okay, let me let me do mine right, or the right way for me rather. So yeah, I'm excited for that.
I thank you too, because as a fellow professional and a friend, you are always so, at least in my experience, you are always so transparent and vulnerable. And that's something I value about you. And hey, I'm going to tell you a secret. This morning, when I woke up before I do these interviews, I always say the same, literally those same words. I am worthy. I can do this, because all of us go through that where we're like the jitters and the nerves, and you're like, oh
Yeah,
my God, should I be doing this? So I go through the same thing. So I appreciate you just being so open and vulnerable to share that.
that is a reminder. You're welcome, obviously. But weekly there's weekly affirmation Mondays on the Curls on the Block app, so you get that as a push notification, just to encourage you to do what you can do your best and appreciate who you are inside. So download that Curls on the Block app. It's free.
Absolutely. And so I put on the comments, I put curlsontheblock.com. I didn't know they can go, because I've been on your website a whole bunch of times.
Yeah.
Your app is right there. They can click on it.
No, you need to download the app. The app you gotta go on your phone. So
Well,
go to
no, but
the
I mean, it'll show them where the app is on your website.
I think so. Look, you know what? Maybe by the end of today, it should.
But just go to Curls on the Block app. Correct.
Yeah.
Same
Well,
time.
on yeah, you just spell it out, and it's on Play Store and I what is it?
I
Play
know
Store,
Google Play or I.
Google
Yeah.
Play, and iStore. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's on
Yeah.
that.
Okay.
So I combine those two things.
I just want to make
um,
sure I'm getting out the right info.
yeah. So wherever you download apps, that's what you would use, and yeah, go ahead, download it. It's free. Also, if you have your own company, a product that served the curly community, let's talk about getting on the app. I definitely had literally just started promoting for it. And then everything just went crazy. But it's also still time to get digital. So if you have a product and you want to get more of a community or a niche, the Curls on the Block app definitely has 300 active downloads as of like last month. And that's actually important because I haven't done major promo. Part of me is still in shock that I have an app. And so I'm like, oh yeah, I gotta like sell my app. But you can get on the app as a company, and the directory, the curly directory is on there, and people can have access to your products through 2 clicks instead of having to type the website and all that. And that's why I'm like, you know what, just download the app because I have like 25 providers on there. And it's from hair care products to clothing companies, Black female owned, and then like Fit and New, which is a Black female run, nutrition and health company. They're doing digital stuff too. So everybody's gotten online, and when all this stuff subsides, we still need those resources, especially if people are changing locations or whatever. We still need to be able to connect with them.
Yeah, and I want to give some final shout outs. Rosalie, thanks for tuning in. She's a fellow entrepreneur, small business owner. Manushka, I see she jumped on after we were talking about chubby curls. So I just appreciate all of you tuning in. And I hope at the very least you took one thing away from this. And during these challenging times for all of us, no matter from, I guess, the worst to, the least impacted, it can get challenging. So I think one thing I hope to bring with these segments is just like a little ounce of joy, if anything. Even if
Yeah.
you're like, I already know all this. And so hopefully that's what we've done today. And Annalise, I put your app in the comments, I put your website in the comments. Are those the easiest way to get a hold of you? Or are there other ways that you want? I mean,
Website.
text you, hit you up in the DM. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
I don't have time. I'm busy.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for joining me and everyone today. And for those of you out there, again, I just want to say that are impacted by this, thinking about you, sending love. Uh, Shout out to all the healthcare professionals, postmen, firemen, everybody. I know we are all super appreciative, store clerks. I can't say it enough.
And shout out to teachers who, despite some criticism, had to adjust and are trying to figure out the best way to keep kids encouraged. And if you're looking for a book to read to your children, Harriet's Yellow Jacket, I forgot to
Ah,
mention.
we got to put that in the comments.
Harriet's Yellow Jacket, you can actually download it. It's on, it's Kindle friendly. It's on Amazon, and for the download you can. And I still have some copies. So if you want to, you can message me for that, business related inquiries only. So Harriet's Yellow Jacket, definitely a cute book to read and encourage girls, your curly friend, to embrace their curls and the conversations parents can have with their kids about why their hair's curly and just how to love and accept who they are. So
I love your book. We got to go, but shoot, you just reminded me. It's in the other room. I could have shown it on the screen.
I was looking for my book, but I don't even have it on hand. They're safe in a plastic bag,
Yeah. Yeah.
COVID free,
It's,
but it is available for download. So,
it's
but
an
anyways,
adorable book. All my
thank
nieces, cousins, I've sent it to them. They all love it.
yeah, thanks again for the support and this opportunity to chat. I haven't seen you in so long.
I know. So we're
Uh,
gonna we're gonna sign off for now. For Takeover Tuesdays, join us next week. It's just growing, and we've got some great guests in store from this point on. I'm booked out until May, so if you're interested, please DM me, and we'll have some spots available coming into June, July. We're gonna keep it up.
yes,
All
awesome.
right.
Take
Thank
Tuesday.
you.
Thanks,
Thank
guys.
you. Talk to you
Bye.
soon.
Okay.